Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a really fascinating sci-fi film, Looper. That's the 2012 time travel movie from Rian Johnson.
hmm
Now look, time travel movies, they can be tricky, right? You start thinking too hard about the timelines, the paradoxes, and suddenly your head hurts. So our mission today really is to figure out how Looper pulls it off. How does it stay so entertaining and, frankly, highly recommended without collapsing under all that sci-fi weight?
Yeah, that's exactly the challenge, isn't it? With time travel, if you get bogged down in the how, you kind of lose the enjoyment. The science stuff can really, as the movie itself says, screw with your head.
Okay.
So we're going to look at how the film tackles this, like right from the start. It's pretty clever, actually.
Okay, let's unpack that. How does Looper handle the physics of it all? Does it just ignore it?
Sort of, yeah. Well, it
Huh.
acknowledges the problem and then just dismisses it. There are literally lines in the movie where characters are like, don't talk about time travel theory, because, yeah, it messes you up. So Rian Johnson, the director, he's basically asking the audience for a bit of faith. Just go with it.
Right. A certain amount of faith. That feels like a nice way to dodge plot holes, maybe. Is it just lazy?
You know, it could seem that way, but here's why I think it works. Johnson immediately gives you one very clear, very brutal rule you do have to follow. Instant feedback.
Okay. So you mean like when old Joe gets hurt in the future?
Exactly. The scars, the missing fingers, they appear instantly on young Joe in the present. It's
Right.
visceral.
Yeah.
So he ditches the complex theoretical stuff, the paradoxes everyone argues about online, and grounds the consequences physically. Right there, on the body.
So it becomes less about timelines and more about immediate danger, personal stakes.
Precisely. It shifts the focus. It's not a physics puzzle. It's about survival, destiny, maybe even existential horror. It turns into this character-driven thing, almost an action movie with a sci-fi twist, rather than hard sci-fi.
Okay, that makes sense. And once you accept that, the whole setup of the world, it's really unique, the way crime works in this near future.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. So, time travel exists in, 2074 or something? But it's instantly outlawed.
Right.
But the mob gets their hands on it. And the reason is kind of mundane, almost. In the future, law enforcement is apparently so good, surveillance is everywhere. You literally cannot get away with murder because you can't dispose of the body.
Seriously. Future cops are that good.
Seems like it. No hiding places. So the mob has this problem. How do you kill someone cleanly?
Outsource it. Back in time.
Exactly. Send the target back 30 years to 2044, to our main timeline in the movie.
Where things are a bit grittier, less advanced.
Right. The victim arrives, hooded, money strapped to them as payment, and waiting there is a looper, a hitman.
Who takes them out with that blunderbuss thing?
Yeah, the blunderbuss. We should talk about that. So the looper shoots the target, gets rid of the body in 2044, where it's presumably easier.
And the key is,
Nobody in the future, no crime. Problem solved. For the mob, at least.
that blunderbuss, though, it feels so deliberately old-fashioned, almost clunky compared to time travel tech. Why that specific weapon?
I think that's totally intentional. It highlights the contrast, the high-tech concept, time travel, but the act of killing is still brutal, messy, primitive.
Like the loopers themselves, maybe. Disposable.
Yeah, exactly. It connects thematically. It's not clean and futuristic. It's grim. It keeps that gritty, almost noir feel grounded, even with this crazy sci-fi premise humming in the background.
Okay, that grit connects to the job title itself. Looper. Talk about closing the loop. That's dark.
It is. It's the core of their contract, really. Loopers know from day one that their job has an expiration date. Eventually, the person sent back for them to kill will be their future self from 30 years later.
Wow.
So when you kill your older self, that's closing the loop. You get a huge payout, like gold bars strapped to their back.
And then you're retired.
Yep. You get 30 years to live it up. Enjoy the money. But you know that in 30 years, they're coming for you. You'll be the one sent back, hooded, to be killed by your younger self.
That's a heavy deal. Guaranteed payday, guaranteed death date.
Right. It sets up this fatalism, and that leads us straight into the main plot, the conflict.
Joe, young Joe, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his target shows up.
And it's him. It's old Joe, Bruce Willis. He's up to close his own loop.
But old Joe doesn't cooperate.
Nope. He fights back, escapes, and now young Joe is in deep trouble. But old Joe is on a mission.
What's old Joe trying to do? Just survive?
More than that, He's trying to change things. He wants to find this mysterious figure from the future, the one who apparently takes over everything and orders all the loops closed, the Rainmaker.
The big bad.
Yeah, Old Joe wants to kill the Rainmaker as a child back in 2044 to prevent his own wife's death in the future and presumably stop this whole system.
So it's not just a chase. It's young Joe versus old Joe, but also old Joe versus destiny itself. And young Joe caught in the middle.
Exactly. It forces young Joe to confront what he's going to become or what the system says he'll become. Does he just do his job, follow the path laid out, or does he try to break free? It's all about fate versus free will, really.
And overseeing this whole mess in 2044 is Abe,
Yeah.
right? Jeff Daniels.
Right. Abe's the guy sent back from the future by the mob to manage the loopers, keep them in line, make sure loops get closed. He's the face of that future authority in the past.
Okay, let's shift a bit to the feel of the movie.
Yeah.
The look. You mentioned noir. It's not just sci-fi action, is it?
Not at all. I mean, the sci-fi elements are the premise, but the feel is pure noir. The city, which isn't even named, is described as grimy and tired. It looks run down, even with hints of future tech.
So the visuals match the mood.
Totally. Noir is all about cynicism, characters trapped by fate, moral ambiguity, revenge. All that stuff is right there in Looper. Joe isn't a hero. He's a killer trying to survive. He's caught in this web of past actions and future consequences.
Yeah.
That decaying world reflects his own moral compromises. The time machine could almost be swapped out for like a rigged horse race in a classic noir. The core themes are the same.
And the performances really sell that, especially the two Joes. Gordon Levitt and Willis playing the same guy at different ages. How did they make that work?
Well, they work together closely, apparently, but the big thing everyone talks about is the makeup. Gordon Levitt wore prosthetics, especially on his nose and mouth.
To look more like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, it took like 3 hours every day. It's a huge commitment, but it helps bridge that visual gap, makes you buy them as the same person.
Wow.
And Willis's performance is key, too. He'd already started doing that more dialed down thing by then. Very still, very world-weary.
Right, less action hero, more haunted.
Exactly. That stillness really sells Old Joe's cynicism, the weight of knowing what's coming. It fits the noir tone perfectly. He looks like a man who's seen too much, which, well, he has.
And the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Jeff Daniels is Abe.
He's great. He doesn't overplay it, doesn't become a cartoon villain. He's got this quiet menace. He's like the ultimate middle manager from hell, you know? Just enforcing the rules, coldly efficient.
And Emily Blunt. Her role isn't huge, but it seems important.
Yeah, she brings a necessary humanity to it, grounds the story emotionally, gives Joe something or someone to potentially fight for beyond himself. It keeps it from just being like a nihilistic exercise.
So putting it all together, the film sidesteps the physics, focuses on this brutal crime mechanic, wraps it in noir aesthetics, and uses these really synthesized performances. And it was a big hit. Let's talk about the director, Rian Johnson.
Yeah, Rian Johnson. Looper was only his third movie, which is pretty amazing when you think about the complexity and the confidence of it. He was definitely seen as a major talent on the rise.
And this genre blending thing, was that new for him with Looper?
Not at all, actually. That's kind of his signature move, even back then. His first film, Brick. Have you seen that?
I haven't, no.
Okay, so Brick is basically a hard-boiled detective story, like Dashiell Hammett or something. But it's set in a modern American high school.
Seriously. High school noir.
Yeah. The teenagers talk in this stylized, rapid-fire noir dialogue. It takes the structure, the mood, the archetypes of one genre, and slams them into a completely unexpected setting.
Huh. So he likes playing with genre rules.
Totally. He sees them as tools or maybe building blocks you can rearrange. With Brick, he showed he could do that complex structure and stylized dialogue. With Looper, he takes sci-fi, but instead of getting lost in the science, he leans into the structure of noir, the fatalism, the morally gray hero, the sense of decay.
So he swapped out one kind of complexity, the time travel rules, for another, the noir framework?
That's a great way to put it, yeah. He delivered a compelling sci-fi movie by fundamentally making it a really effective noir film about destiny and consequence.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. For you listening, Looper works its magic not by explaining the time travel, but by asking you to accept it and then focusing hard on the human cost, the immediate physical stakes, and that brilliant blend of futuristic crime and classic gritty noir film style.
Right. And that leaves us with a thought to chew on. Rian Johnson showed early on, from Brick to Looper, that he's really skilled at mashing up genres, breaking their rules, using them in fresh ways. So thinking about that, what does it suggest for where innovative filmmaking could go? If genre rules are just suggestions waiting to be broken, what other cinematic conventions might get challenged next? What kind of stories become possible? Something to think about after watching the film.